Are you somebody who is easily distracted, or are you an absolute beacon of focus and concentration? Now, in my experience, I have met very few beacons of focus and concentration. What I have met are lots of people with a million things going on and 3 billion ideas about their business, which means they're very easily distracted, chasing squirrels and shiny things and the next big idea coming up left, right and centre. I think it's a real theme amongst people running their own business that there's so much going on that it just becomes incredibly easy to be distracted. However, distraction is the absolute death to productivity and progress. So what I want to share with you this week are some really simple tips to help you stay much more focused, to reduce or eliminate the distractions. Eliminate's probably a little ambitious if we're honest about it, but at least to reduce those distractions so you feel like you are much more in control and that you are running your day instead of your day just running away with you, as it will so easily do if you let it. So, a couple of key things to think about. Firstly is the fact that there is a lot of evidence out there which shows that it typically takes around 25 minutes to get to a place of deep focus, and that is where you're in that zone. Essentially, you're motoring through your work, you're really concentrated, you're just piling through what you need to do, and nothing else is disrupting or distracting you at all. But it takes 25 minutes to get to that point. Now, what that means is that every time you get a ping from your phone, a pop-up on your laptop, a notification somewhere that you feel compelled to go away and check, every time you break that concentration, it's going to take you another 25 minutes to get back to that place of deep focus. It's not something that once you get into that 25 minutes of deep focus, then you can be slightly distracted, but you can just come back to focus. You literally have to start all over again. So think about those things that naturally distract you. What are the things around you in your working environment? Who are the people that have a habit of disrupting your day or demanding your attention? Because each time any of those things happen, that is stealing 25 minutes out of your day. And if you think about how often that happens in a day or in a week, it's amazing to think about how much time gets lost just to, I'll quickly check my messages, I'll quickly do this, do that, or the other. So the second thing to think about is that distraction is a choice. You always can take control of the choices that you make at that moment in time. So whether that is pop-ups, pings, notifications, there is an awful lot of stuff that you can do to switch those things off. You can close down apps, you can keep your phone in a drawer, you can turn off pop-ups for your emails and different things like that on your laptops. But there's also an element of every time something comes in which is a disruption, if your phone rings, if somebody comes into the office, if anything like that happens, you always have a choice at that moment about how to respond. And when you become distracted, it's because you're not actually actively making a choice. You are allowing the distraction to seize your attention rather than just taking a breath, pausing and thinking, is this the right thing for me to focus on right now? So that's one of the biggest things you can do, is recognise that distraction is a choice, understand what is happening right in that moment where you're becoming distracted, and finding a way to almost insert a pause. So you ask yourself, how shall I react to this? Is this the right thing to do right now? Do I want to be distracted? Because sometimes we do. Or do I want to stay focused? And then the third thing is to create a strategy for all of your most typical distractions. So, for example, if social media is a classic distraction, if you just have a habit of disappearing off down a rabbit hole, and yes, you've got to be on social media because I know I need to post on LinkedIn today, or I've got to share this and do that, and it's part of my marketing, I've got to do it. But you don't have to scroll and disappear down that rabbit hole to however many minutes or hours you might have a habit of doing. So if something like that is your typical distraction, then make a decision that every time you go onto social media, you're going to set an alarm on your phone for 50 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever is appropriate. So you will disturb yourself, you will interrupt that distraction and get yourself back on track. If emails are a huge distraction for you or just a massive time stealer, then put them into your diary at a specific time each day, even 2 slots or possibly 3 time slots each day when you're dealing with your emails. Then you won't need to check them at all in between that, because let's be honest, very few of us are in the type of business where a customer needs an instant response from us. Customers are 99% of the time more than happy to wait a couple of hours. So you don't need to be checking these things every minute of every day. If people are your biggest distraction, perhaps you need to let your friends or family know that it would be so helpful if they contact you outside working time instead of inside it. If you've got a client who is very demanding, it might be that you just need to reset some boundaries. Or if they call you, just tell them you've got another call in 10 minutes or something like that, so that you're managing that interruption, not letting it run away with you. So, as a quick recap, a distraction is a choice. You can take control and choose to be far less distracted than you naturally are. You can also create a strategy or technique, a way to deal with all of your most common distractions, so that even when they do try and come in at you, you're actually able to limit or restrict them. Now, if this is the type of thing that you know you really need help with, this is exactly the type of stuff that we cover each week in my Business Growth Mastermind group. So head over to my website, taylore.co.uk, and go and have a nosy at my mastermind group, or drop me a message and let's have a chat.